Hey guys, what's going on? Absolute Beast here. Bringing you guys something different today. So, the series of races that you're about to see are 4 races, each on Sebring, each only 1 lap. So what I did is I did 2 races on Forza 6 with the Lotus E23, which is the F1 car, and then I did 2 races on Forza 5 on the Lotus E21, which is also the F1 car from a couple years ago. So first of all, excuse the horrific driving. Just to get the important information out of the way first, I want to talk about the demo briefly. So we heard people asked about the demo a few different times for Forza Motorsport 7, and the guys kept saying, you know, there'll be information soon, and one of them in one of the interviews said there'll be information before the end of the month. Now this was in August. Now we haven't heard anything, so it's kind of upsetting that they would say that and then not live up to it. You know, it's better to just not say something than to say something like that and then not live up to it. You know, the demo has been traditionally released just a couple weeks before the game, so considering Forza 7 launches about 2 weeks later than Forza 6 did. Forza 6 launched on September 15th, back in 2015, right? Forza 7 is obviously coming October 3rd, so it's going to be 2 weeks later for the release date. So in theory, it'd be 2 weeks later for the demo. So I would say expect a demo mid-September. Right now it's the 5th. So maybe another 10 days, another week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, and we should have a demo on our hands, and I will absolutely bring you gameplay of that. So the rest of the video here, I'm just going to be talking about this. You know, Formula 1 is what I'm most excited for in Forza Motorsport 7. It's probably what I'm going to be playing the most of. To be honest, it was a real disappointment and letdown for me in Forza 6 because, frankly, just, you know, without mincing words, this Lotus E23 sucks. It completely blows. As you can tell, you'll see me, and it doesn't look natural, and we'll check my lap times here, because I've alternated them. So this next race will be Forza 5, then I'll go back to Forza 6. So this is a minute 46, oh, no, excuse me, minute 45.2, which is just, I mean, as you'll see in the next one. So this is a V6, now this car here is a V8, so it's going to sound much better, it's going to scream. This car is much more planted, it's much more flat, it's much more non-responsive. That other car is so twitchy. Oh, that sounds good. So what you'll notice in this one is, watch, I mean, I'll take this first corner pretty much wide open. Check this out. I haven't played Forza 5 in 8 or 10 months, and I played it once, and then I haven't played it for like 2 or 3 years. So the fact that I get in here and I'm driving this car this well really speaks to how much better I feel like the driving dynamics were in this game, at least for Formula 1, as they were in the new game, Forza 6. What you'll notice here is me short shifting a lot, because I'm not used to driving this car, and as I said in the previous video, I shift by sound. So sound for me is much harder to notice because I haven't played this game in so long. I mean, almost all these are short shifts, but this car sounds so much better. And like I said, the flatness of this car and the other car is so twitchy and so over-responsive in my opinion, and I noticed that from the very first time I raced it in Forza Motorsport 6 on like day 1, day 2. I was just like, wow, this does not feel right. And I tried everything that I knew how in the tuning to do that. As you'll see at the end of this race, my driver level in this game is pretty high. I mean, I had quite a bit of playtime in Forza 5, and I had quite a bit of tuning time. I had, you know, 125 hours or so in tuning, which is quite a bit. And, you know, I mean, that's more than a lot of people play the game total, and I had that just in tuning. So I know what I'm doing, and it was only this car that I tuned, and this was the only class I raced, so I know what I'm doing with it. And I could not tune the over-responsiveness out of that car. So, I mean, even as it come down to this last turn again, you'll see it's just the car's real smooth. I'm back on the gas early. I'm not having to do anything funky. And you'll see, look at my first lap, first time playing this game, 143. So I beat my other time by 3 seconds. Which is insane. That's huge. That's a drastic improvement. And the newer cars, the V6s, which would be in Forza 6, the E23, actually has more downforce and more aero. And in theory, more power. So that car should be faster. And if you look at real Formula 1, the cars today are significantly faster than they were before. Well, let's not say significantly, but they're at least marginally faster. Look at that. Level 2900, driver level 2900. I was just kind of showing you this just so I could show you sort of the menu thing. So here we go back to Forza 6, and I'll walk you through this lap again. Now, the only difference is I wasn't using the clutch in Forza 5. I'm a moron and forgot to change it. That's all there is to it. There's no other reason. But you'll see me actually stall the car here on this one, which is just so terrible. But I mean, so hard to get it running, and then you'll see when I take this first turn, I have to lift off significantly, and I can't, and I hit the inside wall or whatever, and like this car is just not right. It just doesn't feel right. And I mean, I guess there's some, parallels with the real Formula 1, because this was one of the first years that this new car came out, so I'm sure they weren't as good. But I'm sure that like the drivers and the teams didn't know them as well as they did those as E21s near the end of their life. But I mean, this thing is it just doesn't feel right at all. It just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't. There's something weird about it. The car's not very wide, and it's much longer front to back, and it just does not feel right. And it doesn't sound very good either, in my opinion. So I don't know, what to expect on Forza Motorsport 7 for F1 for X Class, but I am extremely stoked. I can't wait. This game is going to be so brutal. And today's the 5th, so we're only 21 days away, or well, 23 days away, I guess. I don't remember the exact day. I think it's the 29th actually. So 3 weeks basically, 3.5 weeks, and this new game will be out, and I'll be racing to Formula 1. Again, make sure you guys check back then. I'll be putting up gameplay as much as possible. As many races as I can record, I'll be putting up. I'll try not to put up an overload of videos, but I'm definitely going to be putting up at least a video a day. And see, like here, it goes so deep, and I have to downshift so much and stay off the gas for so long, and it just doesn't feel very intuitive. So even on my second lap with this car, best I could do is 144.3. So my second lap, after racing 2 laps in this car, and the more recent game, I was able to get a 144. And you'll see with this one, this is a much faster lap. This was a blazing lap for me. And again, you'll see, again, no clutch, but this car's so much wider. And you'll notice a lot better shifting this time. I'm hitting the red line a lot more. And, well, I mean, coming to this first turn, it's just like basically full throttle. I mean, I had to lift off just in the middle, just slightly. But I mean, just something about this car, it just feels so much better. This feels a lot more like, one of the reasons that I settled on the R class and even the P class in Forza Motorsport 6 is because the X class just did not feel right. And for whatever reason, P class and R class felt a lot more. Now, the other thing I will touch on here is the HUD shake. This was something completely unexpected. As I was racing the 2 laps, I thought, wow, man, this thing is shaking all over the place. I didn't realize how much HUD shake there was. So if you guys look in the top left, you can see, look how much that's shaking. And then if you look at the car, it's sort of subtle. I mean, it depends on the size of the screen you're watching it on, but at least on my TV, I'm on a 55, and this thing was just ridiculous. It was getting to me a little bit, and I thought, man, I didn't ever even realize that HUD shake was on here. So that's just kind of weird, because I've talked about that multiple times, and that's very strange to know that it's in this game, and I never even realized it before. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think this car is just so much better. It just sounds so good, and it drives so much more smooth. And like I said, I haven't driven this car in years. I drove it for like 5-10 minutes about 6 or 8 months ago, and then to come back and it be this intuitive and do this well, I really hope the new game feels just as good like this. And I can't wait. I cannot wait, guys. We're only a couple of weeks away. Thank you for being here and checking out the video. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw, subscribe. I put up content like this as much as I can. Check back. There's a backlog of videos on my channel which might be interesting to you. Check those out. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much.